What up, guys? We are back again with some 10x takeaways for you. We were at 10x GrowthCon recently in Miami. If you were there, give us a shout out, comment below. And in this video, we want to tell you the top 2 things that we learned from a phenomenal speaker and leader, John Maxwell. He's known as one of the foremost leadership experts. He's written 80-some books on it, and he's been speaking on it for 40 years. Incredible speaker. And one of the things that I keep thinking about ever since his talk was what he calls the rule of 5. And the rule of 5 just says, if you want to get a result at something, he said he was using an example of how many books he's written, like 80 books, and people say, how do you do it? Well, you got to take action if you want to get a result at something. But the rule of 5 says, pick one thing that you have to do to get the result. So if it's writing a book, well, you got to write pages. If it's getting a YouTube channel, you got to make videos. If it's selling a product, well, you got to create the product and then you got to get people to buy it. Whatever it is that you have to do to get the result, and you need to do it every single day, 5 times a day. Was that the rule?
That was part of it.
That was part of it. But basically, he told this story, and he said, look, if you want to chop down a tree, you want to get the actual result chopping down the tree, first you need the right tool. You need an axe. You can't chop down a tree with a hammer. You can't chop it down with a mug. You need an axe, the right tool. And then you need to hit that tree every day until it falls. And what most people do is they start hitting the tree, they start working on their goals, they start a project, but they don't see it through all the way until it's done, until the tree falls down, until you've actually published the book, until you've actually sold the product, until you've actually made $1 million with ClickFunnels or whatever it is that you're trying to do. Most people just start hitting the tree and then they move on and start hitting another tree and another tree. And at the end of their project, all they have is a whole forest full of trees that have axe marks in them, but none of them are knocked down. And I know that I like that story, because usually when people say, oh, you just got to work really hard every day and you'll make it, I think that's kind of corny. I'm always like, there's got to be more to it than that. But I like that story because it really does demonstrate simplicity. If you want to get something done, you have to have the persistence to keep chopping at the tree until it's down. And no one cares how many times you hit the tree unless it falls down. So for every video or Instagram post that you see out there that's like, you gotta hustle, you gotta work hard, you gotta grind. Yeah, but only as long as you get the job done. A lot of people just work hard so that they feel like they're working hard. They glamorize chopping with an axe and not knocking the actual fucking tree down. Your marketplace doesn't care that you worked really hard today. They care that you delivered something real, that you produced something. And honestly, you don't care that you worked really hard unless it produced a result.
Unless the tree comes down and you go, yes, I did it.
And honestly,
I hit my goal.
You know what I was thinking when John Maxwell was telling that story about chopping? I thought, wow, it really makes sense, because no one cares how hard you work. They just care, did you produce a result or not? And really, wouldn't it be smarter to get a chainsaw?
Interesting.
No one cares that you got a chainsaw or an axe. They just care, did you knock the tree down or not? And certainly, wouldn't you rather do it faster if you had a choice? I don't know about you, but we're not in internet marketing so that we can sit around all day chopping trees and working our ass off constantly. Yeah, we work hard, but we want to know that our work is producing bigger and bigger gains every time we do it. And anyways, if you want the chainsaw equivalent for email marketing, for internet marketing in general, definitely subscribe to our channel and check out our course at the link below this video. But what did you learn from John Maxwell?
So much. I mean, he was probably the best speaker I've ever experienced.
Incredible
He's been speaking for 45 years. He's just nailed everything down to a perfect thing. I'm definitely going to buy some of his books. He's written 80-something.
Check him out. You'll be blown away.
So good. Yeah, I'm sure he has really great speeches on YouTube. But the biggest thing that I learned from him was what he called a growth environment. And I think, I've heard this lesson from different sources, but I think he really said it best, where he was talking about if you're the smartest kid in the class, you're in the wrong class. You want to be in an environment in which there are people who are better than you in that environment that are inspiring you to ascend, to grow. A growth environment can't be, you're the top person in the group, because you're not going to grow. Like, you may be helping other people to grow, which is great. You should have that in your life as well. But if you want to keep, one thing that he said is there's no finish line, right? So
if you think there's a finish line, or if you think you're finished, then you're finished.
Yeah, exactly. So
You're never going to be done.
Yeah, you're never going to be done. So just accept that. So if you're not going to be done, then you're always just going to have the next thing that you're looking forward to, the next thing that you're going for, that you're going to achieve, whether it's in business, in life, in your relationships, in money, whatever. So if you're around people that inspire you to get to the next level, then you're always going to be working towards those goals. And another thing I really like, as far as a technique to implement that, the growth environment, he talked about having a monthly lunch where he would deliberately meet with someone who's better than him at something.
And he would just buy them lunch and ask them questions.
Just once a month. And you can start with, it doesn't have to be somebody famous. It could be somebody who's better at having a happy marriage than you. Or, who's better at something, anything. I mean,
whatever it is that you want to get better at.
This guy has probably, all the money he could ever need or spend. He's in his 70s. He's lived an amazing life. People adore him. And yet, still, every month, he meets with somebody who helps him to grow in some way, in any way in his life.
Yeah.
And I really like that.
Yeah, I think that's where humans get their fulfillment from, is growing and becoming more. And a lot of people get to a certain level and then stop.
Right.
And they get comfortable and complacent. And I love being in that room at 10X full of, multi-millionaires, all of them, and seeing how they just continue to grow and level up, and they never stop. There is no finish line. You're never going to reach a point where you're like, all right, I've made it.
Yeah.
Now I can stop. I mean, a lot of people do that, and then they get miserable and depressed and have midlife crises and divorces and wonder what the hell the purpose of their life is. And a lot of people that you see that seem outwardly successful, they get theirs. They get their millions. They make their money,
or they're the boss.
Their status.
They're the CEO.
They get to the top of the mountain that they were climbing, and they forget that there's other mountains, and they got to keep climbing. And there really is no sitting still. There is no, I've made it, now I can stop.
Right.
If you think that, you're in for a rude awakening when you slide backwards down the mountain. So you're either going up or you're going down, and going up is fun. No matter what level you're at. So yeah. Definitely check out John Maxwell. Get his book. He's got 80 of them, but maybe the most recent.
And how could you implement that strategy? How could you implement the rule of 5, and how could you implement the growth environment to start having more people around you that are inspiring you to grow?
Yeah.
Another really good strategy for that is to go to conferences. Go to inspirational events. I mean, we were in that room with, there were many millionaires, but also billionaires,
and also people that just graduated high school.
Yeah, it was amazing.
But the vibe in that room was pretty powerful. If you were there, give us a shout out in the comments below. Like, what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Being around people at a higher level pulls you up to that level, and it never stops. And, maybe take some inventory of who you spend your time around right now. I'm not saying you got to ditch all your old friends, but make some new ones at the same time, because you will naturally drift in the direction of whoever you spend the most time around. So it makes sense that you should choose them wisely and choose people that are a little bit better than you at whatever you want. So, hey, if you want to get better at internet marketing, come to Austin and hang out with us. You'll definitely get better because we're very good at that. But if you want to get
better than us, come hang out with us still. We'd love to learn from you.
Exactly. The point is, you got to actually actively choose to do that. It doesn't usually just happen by accident. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it valuable, give us a comment, give us a like, a subscribe, share it with someone else. And stay tuned. We got more for you soon.